Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for arranging for this beautiful ceremony today in honor of Donald Payne. Thank you so much for bringing us together in such a beautiful way. To Donald's family, I hope it is a comfort to you that so many people share your grief and are praying for you at this sad time, and that Donald is being honored in so many different ways. He was in life, and now with his passing. The fact that the President of the United States, Bill Clinton, and members of President Obama's cabinet were present with our Assistant Leader, Mr. Clyburn, at his funeral. The fact that we are under the dome of the Capitol of the United States and the Vice President of the United States is here to sing the praises of Donald Payne, as well as an outpouring from his colleagues in the House and in the Senate. I hope that is a comfort to you. I just want to share with you a couple other tributes that may not be well known to many of you here. On March 19th, when we observed St. Patrick's Day, because it was on a Saturday, and so we observed it on Monday, there was a big dinner, the American Ireland Fund dinner. Huge dinner, hundreds of people turned out. The Prime Minister of the Taoiseach of Ireland was there. And when the head of when our representative, Richie Neal, spoke, as did Peter King, Richie devoted his entire comments to Donald Payne. In this big Irish festival, there was a huge, as big as the wall, picture of Donald Payne, and the crowd cheered wildly as both Mr. King, but especially Richie, spoke about what he did to help the people of Northern Ireland. Wasn't it a beautiful tribute, Joe? It was beautiful. That was a couple of weeks, as we know, after his passing. I want to tell you about an incident that happened a few years ago. We were on a delegation that Donald helped arrange and lead to Darfur and to Africa. It was very emotional for all of us. But as with anything you did with Donald, you were better prepared when you went, better received when you got there, and better able to help when you left, whether it was the alleviation of poverty, the eradication of disease, promotion of peace, ending violence, protecting human rights, you name it. For this trip, we were going to Darfur and to Sudan and other countries in Africa, and Donald helped arrange everything, but when we were going to Khartoum, he said, "I'm not going." And you remember this, Max? He said, "I'm not going." And I said, "Well, why? But you're our leader." He said, "They're not going to tell you the truth. I already know that. I'm not going to give them that opportunity, but you have to find out for yourselves," which we did. And we maxed on that trip. We visited. It wasn't just about visiting heads of states and parliamentarians. It was about visiting people in HIV/AIDS clinics to see the care they were receiving. It was about visiting women working in Soweto. It was about learning about the country. But I want to tell you about this one incident because I'm reminded of it today when so many people are singing of Donald Payne, and I'm referencing people singing the praise of Donald Payne who aren't even here today. We were in Liberia. Mr. Clyburn, you remember this very well. We're in Liberia, and there was a big celebration of dedicating a library to Congressman Donald Payne for his leadership. And we're there, and I am telling you, it was very hot. They gave us dashikis to wear, so it was even hotter. And every person who spoke, and believe me, the leadership of the world turned out. That was after President Sirleaf Johnson had already honored Donald and the rest of us at an event, but all the focus is always on Donald. But anyway, we go to this library dedication at the AME College in Monrovia. Boiling hot, everybody turned out to honor Donald. A long list of speakers. And every person who spoke, Mr. Vice President, you'll recognize this, Mr. Speaker, every person who spoke said what an honor it was to be on the program with everybody who spoke before. You've been to those events? Until, there are like 19, 20 speakers. We get to halfway through, and one gentleman, distinguished gentleman, gets up and he says, "To all of the speakers who spoke before me and who will come next, honors granted." And it brought out the biggest smile on Donald Payne's face, a picture that you see on the program, those twinkly eyes, that beautiful smile that is obviously a family trait. Is obviously a family trait. But they wanted to outdo each other in praising him, but acknowledging everyone there, too. He was so wonderful, and there's so much to be said about him. It's really a personal loss to so many of us. And so when a colleague passes away, it's sad, it's a loss, and that is very, very personal with many members. And I just want to recall, since Mr. Cleaver introduced the idea that we can speak religiously here today, of a prayer that is posted on the wall by a Presbyterian African bishop in Africa. And I think it applies to Donald very well. In the prayer, the bishop says, "When at long last I will happily go to meet my Maker, he will say to me, 'Show me your wounds.' And if I have no wounds, I will say to him, 'I have no wounds.' And he will say to me, 'Was there nothing worth fighting for?'" That was Donald. He fought for poor people. He fought for people all over the world. We mentioned Africa, that's well known. We mentioned Northern Ireland, but all over the world, this whole hemisphere. He took wounds. This is hard to make that fight. He was challenging the status quo, especially to end violence, promote peace. That's why it was my honor to name him to be our representative to the United Nations General Assembly. One time is the way it goes, but for Donald, it was 2 times because his contribution was so valuable. We say it from time to time, but it's never truer than today. God truly blessed America with the life, leadership, and service of our precious Donald Payne. Thank you.